Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Closet Classics here on WQLN's social media. I'm Brian Hanna, and on today's episode of Closet Classics, made possible by the Mercyhurst Institute for Arts and Culture, is our longtime friend and the Frank Zappa Vaultmeister Joe Travers.
Frank owned a half-inch four-track machine, and so he took it on the road and tried to document a lot of the tours throughout the 70s, and then he ended up getting his own recording truck in the early 80s. So the 81 tour and the 82 tours and the 84 tours, the 84 tour was when he went digital. So he took one of those Sony machines that I mentioned on the road and was recording 24-track tapes on 84. And then in 1988, he had two of those machines synced together, and he was recording the 1988 tour with 48 tracks, two 24-track machines. So all of that stuff lives in the vault. So there's just it almost seems endless, the amount of concert releases that could happen in the future. But then, of course, you have a lot of the odds and ends, different types of things that are in there, like interviews and cassettes and field recordings and really great personal recordings that Frank would make, interviewing band members and select individuals. And then, of course, there's all the studio outtakes from all of the records and things that was recorded in the studio that has never been heard. So it's a lot of stuff. I mean, his career spanned almost 4 decades. So, and he tried to keep almost everything. So imagine.
So how do Zappa fans petition Universal to start releasing things? Or do you know if they already have that in the pipeline?
Well, we have been releasing things pretty consistently now for a while, especially since Universal has been involved. We, the Zappa Family Trust and Gail and Amit specifically got involved with Universal in 2012. And since then, Universal has been, so unbelievably great for the legacy. We started out doing a remastering campaign of all of the original albums and making them all available in one place, because in the past, Frank's catalog was kind of like distributed through different ways, different titles, different companies.
Right.
So it all came together, and it has been that way now since 2012, and it's a dream come true for me that the entire catalog sounds the best that it possibly can and is all in one place now, which is pretty amazing. And then, over the last like 6 to 10 years now, we've been experiencing the golden era of Frank's career, and we've been doing anniversary releases of all the major records that you would expect, things like Overnight Sensation and Apostrophe and One Size Fits All, and recently we just did Bongo Fury, and those records are filled with new mixes and concerts from the vault and studio outtakes and all great ways to celebrate those records. And we're on a roll. We just keep on keeping on doing those types of releases along with things for no reason at all. You were mentioning about how you wanted to talk about things in the future on the horizon, and I'm really excited about the fact that we just launched a label called Vaultternative Records, which is something that Gail did in the 2000s, and I participated with her on that. And obviously Gail is not here, but the label has just been resurrected, and it gives us an opportunity to be able to to release more content, and also things like what I just mentioned, some of the odds and ends, some of the different types of live performances that you can expect from the vault. Hit it, Brian.
What do you have in your possession that would make all of us jealous? All of us who are Frank Sinatra fans, or Frank Zappa fans. Frank Sinatra. It could be Sinatra too. Frank Zappa fans. Do you have memorabilia?
Sure. One time, Gail and I were sitting in the TV room at the house in Laurel Canyon, and we were making notes because we were getting ready to release a DVD called A Token of His Extreme, which was a reissue of one of his 70s concerts. And I was mentioning to Gail about how the footage was so iconic because it's some of the stuff that has been most seen over the years. And also the Halloween 1981 footage was also very iconic, and how that outfit that he was wearing, that magenta jumpsuit, was something that people has associated with Frank for so long, because even in the early days of cable, like in the 80s, Frank was so involved, and he was using that Halloween footage a lot on, broadcasts on USA, Night Flight, and stuff like that from the early days.
Right.
And I said, that jumpsuit. Well, she gets up and disappears, and I'm working on all this stuff, and then all of a sudden I hear, Joe. And I turned around, and she's standing with the jumpsuit in hand, and she pulls the pocket, I think it was the left pocket, she pulls the pocket inside out and takes a pair of scissors and cuts the pocket and gives it to me.
So you actually have the piece that was closest to Frank's body.
Yeah, well, what's funny is that that jumpsuit got auctioned off when the family did the big auction. So whoever owns that jumpsuit, they don't have the left pocket. I do.
That's one of those things that you could pull it out and nobody would know what it was until you explained it.
That makes it kind of beautiful too.
So where do you keep it?
I have it in a little box in my room somewhere.
Do you pull it out on occasion and just rub it for good luck?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for spending some time talking about the legendary Frank Zappa with us here today. Joe Travers joining us, the Vaultmeister of the Frank Zappa collection. Now that the collection is in the hands of Universal, do you find yourself with more free time?
Oh, not really, because Universal has chosen to do many projects yearly for Frank, and I am so incredibly grateful for that, because his legacy deserves it, and the content is there. So I think it's best that they make the best of their investment. So we have been very busy, and it's been nonstop, which is, again, another dream come true.
Frank Zappa, one of the most influential musicians of our time. Joe Travers, thanks for spending some time with us here on Closet Classics. Closet Classics, once again, friends, made possible by our good friends at the Mercyhurst Institute for Arts and Culture. More information is at miac.mercyhurst.edu. Hey, thanks for taking some time with us. Thanks for joining us all the way from the West Coast. We appreciate it. Remember to like and subscribe to WQLN on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.